Hey guys, so Father's Day is just right around the corner, and my goal is to just give you a perspective of what it's like to go through Father's Day for someone who is grieving their child. So, this will be my second year in this Father's Day event, and the first year was really bad. It was Father's Day for the very first time. It's been 22 months now, so last year. And there was a lot of there's a lot of tension between my wife and I because my wife wanted to go to church. And I was thinking to myself, if I go to church, then people would be saying to me, Happy Father's Day. Because let's face it, they want to say something that is nice to you. But sometimes even our church mate, even our church brothers and sisters in Christ are a little bit insensitive to what we're going through. So decided for myself, you know what? I'm not going to church that day because I don't want to hear Happy Father's Day because then I'm not happy because I'm grieving the loss of my child. There was that tension because my wife wanted to go because it was my day. So I told my wife that it truly is my day. Then let it be. Let me have it by myself. I wanted to separate myself. I wanted to to just isolate myself from the world because Father's Day to me brings up so many things. There's so much trigger in this day because it reminds me of my role as a father. And to me, it feels like I wasn't there when my daughter passed away in a way that responsibility because as a father I am supposed to protect my daughter from all harm. What happens is that I am constantly reminded of this day where it was a Tuesday morning technically because it was at 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. She kept waking up and she kept telling me, Daddy, I gotta go pee, I gotta go poo. And I said to her, you know what? Listen, Daddy has to go to work the next day, so I have to get my sleep. Prior to this, already went to the hospital, and so I thought that everything was good. But I didn't realize that, the bacteria inside her body was already kind of eating her alive. So that's the kind of event that brings up so much in this Father's Day because I felt like I did not do my role. I did not do my job as a father to protect my child. This second year, I'm a little bit better in a way that I can cope with all that emotion. I can understand it a little bit more as I go through grief. But it doesn't make it easier in a sense. It doesn't make it better in a sense. There's still that day, that Father's Day where I am kind of scared to face it because, again, I am not complete. My daughter is not here with me. And so it is not a happy day in a sense. Mind you, I'm a positive person. I like to think in a positive way. But it is really difficult to do that when you know that someone is missing. And what ends up happening too is I get frustrated because my day is not whole, it's incomplete. And I feel like I'm neglecting my other children because of what had happened to my daughter, if that makes any sense. So, what I wanted basically to say this day is that to those who are grieving, to those who have lost their children, especially this Father's Day, if you're saying to your husband or if you know someone who is grieving, a father who is grieving, then I want you to be really sensitive to what you're saying because Father's Day is not always happy. I know most people would just say Happy Father's Day carelessly without even thinking about someone who is going through a difficult time. I know they mean well, but that's the thing. Meaning well and saying well is not the same thing. And if you are a father who is grieving the loss of your child, the loss of your children, I feel you. I feel you. And and again, it's not easy because the tendency is to isolate ourselves because we don't want to be part of that celebration. Because it feels like that celebration is for those who are happy, those who are really engaging into that day. I do get it. I get the Father's Day thing. I get that, being a father, your responsibility, and just celebrating that as a father. I get that. But to me, it feels like something is still missing. Maybe I'm not ready to face it yet. Maybe that's just part of me grieving. Maybe I'm not there yet. Maybe if I talk to someone this who's been into this Father's Day for the last 20 years, maybe he can say to me, "Oh, you know what? Eventually you'll get to that stage, but maybe, just maybe, because it's only been 22 months for me, maybe I'm not ready to face it yet." But my main message for today is that to those who are grieving, to those who know someone who is grieving, who is a father, then be a little bit more sensitive to how we are feeling. And to me, to go out and say this in a YouTube video, it's not easy. But I wanted to say it anyways because, again, I'm trying to do is educate people in these videos and how we should approach someone who is grieving. If you guys like this video, consider subscribing and hit that like button. Now, if you're a parent who is grieving, let me know what your experience is like during these big days, during these big events that we are afraid, or I am afraid to look forward to celebrate.